How are you measuring your success? How are you measuring how well you're doing towards what you're trying to achieve in life? How are you measuring yourself towards your 10x goals? So how are you measuring yourself against your goals? How are you measuring your 10x life? I want to continue talking about this book. 10x is easier than 2x. It's an outstanding book. It's got so much in here. I could talk about this for episodes and episodes because there's so many different things that they talk about. This book is getting released on May 9th. So go to the link in my show notes and you can get your pre-order, but I highly recommend it. There's a number of books. I think this is the third one that Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan have done together, but all of Benjamin's books are outstanding. And what I want to do today is there's a few questions as we're going through this that I started asking myself. You know, this is probably the fourth or fifth episode that I've dedicated towards going through this book. And one of the first couple was about creating impossible goals. And so one of the questions I kept asking myself is, you know, what happens if you're creating an impossible goals? Like, I understood the whole premise behind everything it was talking about and the importance of setting those big, huge goals. But there's also, you know, what's the repercussions of not achieving them? How do we look at those things and not let it discourage us? And it actually, later on in the book, they actually start talking about some of the concepts from a different book, The Gap and the Gain, that they wrote together. And it really ties things in a lot. And so when we're going from where we are now to 10x, you know, it really requires us to remodel our life. It requires us to become a different person than we are today. As I said in, I think, the last episode, what got us here won't get us there. And so it really requires that we become the person that can do that thing. And in here, when we talk about the gap and the gain, Dan Sullivan says, your level of capability in the future depends on your measurement of your achievements in the past. You can't move forward and grow until you acknowledge how far you've come and have properly measured your gains. Now, again, Gap and the Gain, outstanding book. I highly recommend you go get that too. But, you know, bringing that into perspective, whenever you're either in what they refer to as the gap or the gain, it's purely how you're measuring yourself, against what you're trying to achieve or what you've already achieved. And obviously, okay, when we look at it, the gap versus the gain is where you want to be. And throughout the book, they talk a lot about this being an internal 10x more than an external 10x. And looking at the gap and the gain is where we want to be. And the gap, when we're in the gap, what they refer to as the gap, it's a lens that we use to measure things as what is compared to what they could be, what they should be, or what our ideal is. And so as we look at that, how does that relate to the impossible goals we're supposed to set? Because an ideal, how they reference it, it's like a horizon. You know, as we get to the horizon keeps going further and further away. And that's what our ideals are. An ideal keeps getting further and further away as we have more achievements. And so that doesn't mean you shouldn't have ideals. It doesn't mean that they're not useful. On the contrary, ideals are important and they're useful for providing direction, helping us with our specific goals and helping us as we progress towards those specific goals. But they're always going to be out there. Now, while you're in the gain, you have those ideals, you have specific goals, but you're not measuring yourself as where you are going towards those goals. The importance about being in the gain is measuring yourself backwards, measuring yourself of where or who you were before. And this is something I've talked a lot in the past about, that I think the importance of, you know, I talk a lot about this when I talk about my mindset journal. In my mindset journal, I have you write out your goals every single day. Now, there's a lot of reasons I do that. Your reticular activating system, your focus, all of those things. But what I also encourage people to do is often go back and look at previous journals. What were your goals a year ago? What were your goals a week ago, a month ago, 2 years ago? Because as we achieve goals, we're constantly creating new goals, and we're pushing that ideal out. We're pushing out that horizon, and we don't take the time to celebrate the goals that we have achieved. And that's what the gain is all about, is measuring ourselves backwards, looking at where we were, what we've done, and recognizing the things that we have achieved, the things that we've done in the past. And that way we can build on that momentum and confidence. Research shows that confidence is a byproduct of past successes more than anything else. And so when we're trying to achieve that 10x, that's what we're trying to do, is continue on that with that momentum of the achievements that we've had. And so rather than looking at our goals, specifically those ideals, those horizons that we keep pushing further and further out, we're looking at what we've achieved and build on that momentum. When you do this, you're going to be able to begin seeing things differently. You're going to be able to look at your wins and gains from the past that previously you might not even have considered them progress. And as this happens, we really have the opportunity to continue that momentum and have those things, because as what you focus on is going to expand, and whatever you can see is what you can create. So as you see those successes in the past, you can create more successes in the future. And so again, I'm going to probably be talking about this for a while longer, because there's so much content in here that I'd like to talk about, but really can't do it justification in these few episodes. I strongly suggest you go and order the book. And again, get the link in my show notes. It comes out May 9th. I'm pretty sure that's the date. But, there's really a lot of great concepts in there on the things that you need to implement into your life to help you 10x and get where you want to go. And it's really so much of a mindset and the things that you need to implement into your life to be able to have that 10x mindset to do that. And this gap in the gain is a big part of it. And really, the cool thing about this is it's not a standalone book that, it's got these principles and philosophies that'll help you 10x your life, but it has nothing to do with any other work. Because I've talked in other episodes about Be Your Future Self Now. Such a great book. And so much is similar to what we're talking about in this book. And now we're talking about The Gap and the Gain, which is another one of their books. So much is tied together. So it's all tying together. So I suggest going and getting all the books. They are all great books. I highly recommend them all. But anyways, some great stuff. Highly recommend it. Love to hear your thoughts on this. And hopefully, as I've built these episodes one upon another, as I've been talking about this book, that it's tying things together for you. And love to hear your comments, your feedback, all those things. So let me know. Also, it's Monday now. Same thing we do every Monday. What do you have to do this week so that on Friday you can look back and say, it's been a successful week and I'm closer to my bigger goals? Make sure you're being accountable. Get your accountability coach, partner, group, whatever you're doing, but be accountable. If you're not in an accountability group or you don't have an accountability coach, come and join us. Go to jeffsjumpstarts.com. You'll be able to find out more about our programs. And I've got other great accountability coaches I could refer you to as well. So all I care about is being accountable and achieving your goals. You need to include that in your whole process. Also, depending on when you're listening to this, February 28th, I've got an incredible opportunity. Come and join us. Todd Stottlemyre, 2-time World Series champion. We have him coming to speak to our Confident Athlete group in our expert series. But I've decided to open this up because, honestly, because I read his book, Relentless Success. And whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, any high achiever, I know the things that Todd's going to talk about are going to be hugely beneficial. And so I just want to share that. This is an incredible opportunity. He's an incredible guy, incredible athlete, entrepreneur, investor, father, all these things. So strongly suggest you come and join us. So you've got to register for it. If there's still seats available, go to confidentathleteprogram.com/relentless. Grab your seat and come and join us on the 28th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's Arizona time. So hope to see you there. Thanks, and see you on Wednesday. Athletes put a lot of time, money, and effort into the physical aspect of their sport, but they often neglect the mental game. And the mental game, it's just as important as the physical. In fact, it's often the differentiating factor between good and great athletes. If you really want to reach your full potential, if you want to be a great athlete, you've got to pay attention to the mental game. Now, come and join us in the Confident Athlete program, where you're going to learn how to develop powerful mindset, extreme self-confidence, and really take your game to the next level. Come and check us out at confidentathleteprogram.com/membership. Who you surround yourself with really does matter. The people you associate with and spend time with have a huge impact on who you become and what you do in your life. Hi, my name is Jeff Heggie, and I want to tell you about my Inner Circle Mastermind group. This is a group that's designed to surround you with like-minded high achievers who will help you to think bigger and amplify the performance of your business and your life while tearing down all the barriers that are holding you back. A mastermind is the fastest way to get you to the next level. If you're ready to network and connect with other successful entrepreneurs and influencers, go to coachheggie.com/mastermind.